All right. We'll start with Valentine from 2001. Five women are stalked by an unknown assailant while preparing for Valentine's Day in a little cherub mouse because that's how they work. Director is Jamie Blanks, also known for Urban Legend. That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Writers are Tom Savage, Donna Powers. Donna Powers, that's not a real name. And Wayne Powers. Oh, okay. All right.
Wayne's World.
At a cost of $10 million, this is the cheapest film to ever have a Super Bowl spot. This had a Super Bowl spot?
Oh, wow.
All
Okay.
I'm
right.
gonna I'm gonna
That's
say a
insane.
10 or 15, 20-second one.
Yeah, maybe.
I
Well,
don't
that
think
was
I don't- I
23
don't think
years ago.
they were
too.
that expensive back then either. You know, it was
Yeah,
I
they
don't
were
think
already
they're as
expensive, but
expensive
not
as
as
they
much
are
as they are today.
So $10 million of this film's
$10
budget went to a fucking
million.
Super Bowl ad. All right.
Wow.
Pedro, what'd you think about Valentine?
Man, like I said, it was so 2001. Some of these cast members, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah.
From when I was a young
Sure,
man,
sure.
from when I was a young man discovering my sexuality. You know what I'm saying? Which is and this movie
Denise Richards? Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? It was funny though because she was very young at this point, but she already had like that very
Uh-huh.
like stretched out face. Like she had like one expression throughout the entire movie, and that made it very
Yeah, her expression is I have boobs.
yes. This movie was weird. First of all, the tropes are all
Right.
very 80s slasher style, right? Very 80s. You have the beginning where they make fun of the kids. Sometimes it's a woman, sometimes it's a guy, and then
Sure.
the slasher comes back and kills whomever was in that crowd one by one. You know, wash, rinse, repeat. That was the whole 80s way of doing their slasher movies. But this movie, what it is that it was very mean. This is a very mean-spirited movie in a lot of ways. First of all, the script, it's a very misogynist movie. It treats all the like none of the women are likable, and
That's a good point.
like,
Like Black Christmas.
they're fighting over like who's sleeping with who, and they're calling each other like hoes and
But the
That
opposite.
was
Bloods,
the shade of Black
and they're
Christmas.
supposed to be best friends, right? Like this is
Yeah.
a French group, and they're
Yeah,
putting each other
backstab.
down.
Right.
And I'm thinking, man, the writer must hate women. But then the guys get it just as bad because they're just like sex objects. They're
These
literally
hoes ain't
sex
loyal.
objects. So
Okay.
so so that was weird to see, right? Because I mean, I don't think this movie would fly nowadays. You know, with the woke movement nowadays, it just
You
won't
don't think
fly
so?
because I don't think because they're fighting over like, oh, you slept with him and you're jealous because I'm sleeping with this guy.
That shit will never go away. You got soap operas, you've got these fucking dramas that people watch
Yeah,
on their cell
but all these
phones.
women are airheads, Lance. They're all airheads. Remember,
Yeah, I guess.
they have this exchange where one of the girls is like, "You let him into your house? You barely met him," and then the other one's
Right.
like, "Well, you didn't know Adam was an alcoholic when you met him." And
Oh yeah, they kept fucking hassling.
Yeah, and
'cause
then they
he was
told
drinking.
Denise Richards, "You barely know any man before you fuck him."
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And she's
That's
like,
true.
yeah, you right.
no, and the best line of this
She was
movie,
like-
the best line of this movie is when they're in the detective's office and they're going through that
Oh my
2001 Windows 95 fucking Macintosh, you know, and
Right.
they're going. He has a picture of Jeremy Milton, right? And they're going. He's doing a lot of different ways.
Yeah,
And then
how he could look now.
Yeah, I think one of the girls is like, "Do you have another picture?" And then the detective looks so fucking annoyed, and he looks at her
Yeah.
and he's like, "You dumb
was
bitch!
like-
If I had one, I would be using it." You know?
I know. That was
But he
like the
doesn't
worst
say, he doesn't
detective
say
ever,
that.
right?
He doesn't call her a dumb bitch, but he's thinking it. So all the women in this movie are all airheads. There's no like
Right.
intelligent quality about any of them. They all get duped. The guys are just sex objects. They have no character development. One of them,
Oh man.
I think it's implied that one of them is gay because he can't get his dick hard to fuck that one girl, and he's all ashamed of himself. Remember that part, Lance?
Yeah, they they're like about to get it on, and then the next scene, they're both laying in the bed like
Yeah,
hum dum de dum de dum
and then, like,
dum.
and then he's like, I'm sorry. And then the girl's
Oh,
like,
I thought it was because he finished too fast.
I don't either or. And
Either
then
or.
and then she's like, no, it's okay, but you could tell she's really pissed, you know, because this
Yeah.
whole movie's all about just sex.
It's like,
There's
oh,
no-
it's okay. It's
Yeah, it's
okay. Where's my
and then
vibrator?
and then she just gets up, and then he's scheming. He's gonna rob some money from her. Anyways, there's a whole thing.
Right.
So that was weird. Now, one thing this movie.
Very weird.
Now, one thing people need to watch this movie if you haven't. It's a cult classic, so a lot of people already watched it. But the kills are fucking awesome in this movie. Like the setups. Like when they kill that one girl from Grey's Anatomy, in the beginning. I love how she's in the morgue. What she's doing in the morgue, we don't really know. She just works there for some reason.
Well, no, she was training to be a doctor, right? So she had
By
to study
herself
to
in
be
the
a doctor.
middle of the night because
without
that's how
anybody
all
there.
morgue workers work.
Yeah.
Yes. So what
Well-
they did is they killed the one with the brains. They killed her first. Is essentially what happened. And so I love the part where how much brains could she have? She decides to hide in a fucking bag in those bags they put on. That's her biggest plan. Remember that? She's like, this is
the killer's like stabbing every fucking
That
body
whole
bag.
scene kind of irritated me, to be honest. I
Well,
was like,
that's-
okay,
I
first
like
of
that
all,
scene,
she
though,
wouldn't
like,
have time to get in there.
I know. Right. Where did that happen?
and it's like, and then eventually he finds her, and it's like, it was weird because we're not used to seeing these kind of like dumb moves by these women anymore in today's filmmaking, right? It's more sophisticated. They're more intelligent. So he opens the bag, and she's just in there, and she's like, and then he just kills her.
Right.
And I like how he just zips it back up too. Like, here's
Slits
another
her throat.
body.
Yeah.
My question is, what happened to the body that was in that bag to begin with? You know,
They didn't
Good
explain
point.
that, did they?
and then I like the scene where they kill that other girl. I think her name was Lily, where they kill her in the art gallery, where she's surrounded by all these screens. And then there's this one voice that's like, "Love me, love me, love me," like over and over.
Yeah, the lips talking over and over and over again.
And then the killer, which is, I guess, is Cupid, right? Supposed to be Cupid with the mask.
Sure, with
He
the
hits her
bow
with-
and arrow.
Yeah, hits it with the bow and arrows in front of everybody. By the way, they don't even try to like make sense of how this guy's doing it.
I was gonna say, this didn't show up on a police report or something. The next day, they're just
Right.
like, "Well, she never came home."
Yeah, yeah, because the detective's also kind of a dumb fuck himself. You know, he's just kind of there. Later on, they cut his head off, and so
Yeah.
and then the third
He's
act.
trying to get with Denise Richards the whole time. You know.
That's
Oh
right.
God,
Well,
that
that's
scene
another
where he's
very
just like,
perfect scene.
everybody, go ahead and go. Denise Richards, stay
You
back.
stay here.
Let's talk about what's going on between us. And she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he was like, "You know."
You know what? She doesn't 100% like reject them either.
Yeah,
Like,
I
there
know.
was-
She's leading
there
him
was,
on.
like,
She's
she's
leading him
like,
on.
"You're right. I'm a slut."
Yeah.
um,
She's like the one chick from Sex and the City, the horny one, right?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
older one.
That's exactly who she is.
All right. Kim
I
Cattrall.
mean, they're all
right?
horny.
All right.
They're all horny though, because the reason why David Boreanaz or whatever his fucking name is,
Angel.
the reason why he's able to infiltrate their little inner circle is because that all they want is dick, like all of them, and like, and they're all jealous of each other. That entire movie is them being jealous of each other as to how one is getting a particular dick and the other one isn't. That's literally the whole
Right.
movie.
Right.
That's a good point.
Wow.
I mean, where they have little arguments about it. So the third act is where it gets really wonky. Somehow the one of the girls ends up in the Cupid outfit and she gets killed.
Sure.
And it is in the cliffhanger where David Boreanaz is like nose is bleeding. Oh, because we didn't say.
Yeah. What's with the nose bleeding the whole time? Right?
Well, because when he was a little kid and he was under stress, his nose would start to bleed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that first scene when they're punking him out, his nose starts to bleed. So that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Here's another.
He obviously hit the gym after that, right? Or hit the steroids.
That's what they say. But I'll tell you another thing that cannot go unsaid in today's the era that we live in, the pussification era that we live in. This movie is also very fat phobic. It's very fat phobic.
Fat phobic.
Yeah, because there's the scene in the movie. Because remember, what was the name of the main girl? What's her name? I forget the character's name.
Pedro's killing me, dude.
But the one that was chubby, right? The one that
Political correct.
Dorothy.
Oh, from the beginning?
yeah. So
Wait, which one was that at the end? Was that the girl
The
from
rich one.
the rich one that was in Grey's Anatomy?
She was like,
right?
I'm the fat one. You're the smart one.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's like, I'm the fat one, and then she starts crying, and then I think Denise Richards or the other girl like, no, you're just big bone. You're just big bone. And it's like,
So she was a little chunky, huh? When she was in high school.
Girl, you just big boned. Don't worry about that.
but they have that entire scene, a very melodramatic scene where she breaks down because she's quote unquote the fat one of the group.
Okay.
And she's not even like what I would consider quote unquote fat, right? And so imagine a younger girl at that time watching that movie and they're like, what the fuck? I'm kind of chunky, and she's saying she's chunky, but she's not really chunky. What does that make me? You know, so this is a very weird movie.
It makes you a fucking whale.
It's so un-PC. This movie's very un-PC when it comes to a lot of this shit. But with all that said, it was I was never bored. It was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
You
didn't hate it, huh?
I didn't hate it. I mean, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
Is that what fat phobic is? I don't think that's what fat phobic is.
No? Fat phobic is when you're worried somebody's going to fucking sit on you.
That the writers don't really like fat people. Not the
I
characters.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. From the fat phobic activist perspective, I gotcha.
All right. So who's next? I'll give my rating after you guys do.
It's okay, Pedro. You're not fat. All right. Lance, what do you think?
I don't even know where to go from there. Pedro just like summed up the whole movie.
I really did. That was really good.
Honestly, that was like Rotten Tomatoes reviewing a 5-minute short. You know what I'm saying? Like something they never would have taken on. So I don't know what to say. I mean, I guess I kind of hard to say after that, man. Hard to follow up. It was corny as hell. Yeah, you got a lot of people that you've seen in other stuff. I kind of enjoyed the arrow scene, like right where they would shine the camera on the point of the arrow, and like, you know, you kind of like Pedro said, you get some pretty decent original kills in here. But yeah, it was really kind of stupid from start to finish. There wasn't a lot to love about this movie, besides the fact that there's some people that got big careers later. So, I don't have to say.
I won't say big careers.
Pedro said it all. What do you think, Brian?
I thought this was a fun little slasher movie. It's a classic tale of fuck around and find out. I mean, all the girls make fun of this kid. The boys come and stomp his ass out after they strip him naked. Of course, he grew up to be a serial killer.
No,
Yeah.
Sure.
And then they send them to reform school, and then they send them to a psych ward for who knows what reason. And then they never say this, but they imply that he set his parents on fire for whatever reason. So
See, all right, I've known a lot of crazy motherfuckers, and I'm cool with all of them for that reason.
Yeah. And somehow this kid grows up to be David Boreanaz.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what kind of technology they had in 2001 with the software, the facial recognition or whatever.
Right.
Because they just kept enlarging his forehead. He was like, does he look familiar now?
Yeah, it didn't look at all like him.
Like a caveman.
I had fun with the kills. It's been a while since I've seen this movie because I remember Katherine Heigl being in the movie a lot more than she was. It was basically Drew Barrymore, her like they did in Scream. They killed her off immediately.
Was Katherine Heigl somebody before this movie came out?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
She was in one of the Child's Play movies, but I think that was after this.
Yeah,
because I forgot she was in
Bride of Chucky, maybe.
Yeah, the kill that I remember the most was the Denise Richards one in the hot tub with the drill.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's
But
got to be the major kill. She's the big name in the movie.
She is nice to look at, but she is hard to listen to.
Oy. Well, she was a scientist in a James Bond movie, remember?
Yeah, Dr. Christmas or something.
I thought Christmas only comes once a year.
That's it.
But I had a big problem with the finale when they took the mask off the killer and it was Dorothy, the quote unquote fat girl.
Yeah,
she had nothing covering her mouth. At no point could she speak out saying, "I'm not the killer."
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Well, I mean, remember there are airheads, and I think that was done on purpose, even though we're not.
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, Pedro pointed out that they killed the smart one immediately off, so they didn't have no one to figure out who the killer was. They
didn't have any brains.
And another name that I completely forgot was in this was Marley Shelton, Officer Judy from the Scream movies. Ends up being the final girl.
Okay. Well, there were actually two people from Grey's Anatomy in this movie, right? Because you had Heigl and then the other one. It was like Dr. Arizona something.
Yeah, that was the fat one. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
My wife has started watching the Gossip Girl again.
Oh no!
And so
AJ
I am praying for Grey's Anatomy to come back.
Man. Gossip Girl is so fucking horrible, dude.
I hate that one.
XOXO, Gossip Girl.
I'm like, all right, let's Grey's Anatomy, put it on all day. I don't care.
Give me grades.
But other than the ending, I had a problem with. I thought this was a decent, fun little slasher, little holiday slasher. Because I don't. There's not too many Valentine themed or good ones, at least, slasher movies.
Yeah, I mean the other one is the two My Bloody Valentines. The original and the remake. The remake is really good as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 3D one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pedro really made me rethink because I kind of enjoyed this movie for those stupid kills and stuff. Brian, until Pedro reminded me of.
Lance, I don't want to.
No, Pedro, you reminded me how stupid that opening scene was with the body bags. It's like, how the fuck does she have time to hide in the body bag? And what the fuck they do with the body? It was in the fucking body bag.
The one was
keep an extra one on the table.
The one kill that was brought up, the one at the art gallery. It's a simple kill with shooting the arrows, but it was done like super violently. The way she's getting hit with the arrows, and then she falls over the banister, and then comedically falls into the dumpster.
That's right.
Yeah, because they had to
because her art is trash.
They had to justify them saying that she went to LA and she never came back or whatever. She had to find.
Yeah.
That's what happens to everybody who goes to LA, right, Pedro?
That's what it seems like. Yeah. I'm a native, so I could talk shit. I'm not what they call transplants.
Bill, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a very timely holiday horror slasher movie, and that is the perfect description of this, because that is exactly what it is. But it was kind of fun to go back and watch some of those big characters,
Mm-hmm.
The main chick to it, Denise Richards in particular, because she's always
Dr. Christmas.
Dr. Christmas. Yeah, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to when I started the movie.
Okay.
And so it was kind of a good little blast of nostalgia, because I was like, oh, I remember when this came out.
Sure.
Not a great movie, but I didn't hate it. So there's that.
not The Exorcist, is it?
No, no. This one's not winning any awards or anything. But
okay.
But for a fun holiday slasher movie that has some nostalgia packed in with some characters that you forgot about, this is a fun one for that. In case you haven't watched it in 20 years.
Valentine.
Which most people probably haven't, let's be honest. All right, scores. Pedro, what'd you think?
This was such a it's also very simplistic, right? There's nothing to this movie. It's literally everything we talked about. You know, you introduce the victims, you introduce the slasher, and you just work your way through them. So
it went by fast. It went by fast, dude.
Yeah,
it felt like it was like an hour long, right?
It's a very harmless movie. It's got some good tropes. I'm gonna go 7 on 10 on this one.
Damn.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. And also I get a kick out of the fact that these movies cannot be made anymore because of the culture that we live in. You can't have these dunces running around getting killed one by one.
Yeah, you can if they're dudes.
That's true. So 7 on 10. 7 on 10.
All right, get in, get out. I like it. Brian, Lance, you were next. What do you think?
I'll give it a 5. It's like right in the middle.
You sound like you don't want to give it a 5.
Ultimate fence straddler. 5.
All right, Brian.
Like I said, this is a fun movie to watch. We didn't even talk about the dialogue. There's a scene where Denise Richards again, is taken up to a room at the party, and the guy pulls his pants down, and he's like,
"That's right."
I don't know if anybody even talks like this. He's like, "Wax it."
Wax
it. He said, "Wax it,"
and then she pours the candle wax.
Well, and I love that she acted like she was so insulted that it happened. I'm like, bitch, you went up there. What did you think was gonna happen?
I know.
Wax it.
I think I agree with Pedro. I think this is a 7.
Damn, this is the next classic.
I mean, it is believe it that this film does have a fan base. I mean, it is.
Man, Art the Clown eat your heart out, huh?
It's not surprising. It's got a lot of crazy things that happen with some really big name actors and actresses before they were big.
And with the cast and the music and some of the dialogue, it's a piece of that time period, the early 2000s.
Sure.
Oh, it is 100% dated. It is time stamped.
Is it?
By a lot.
Time stamped.
A lot of that new metal, right? The new metal that was.
Yeah.
But I kind of because of that, I think I'm gonna go 6.5 instead of a 7. But
okay.
I liked this way more than I thought I was going to like this when I turned it on. I turned this on and I was like, fucking another stupid horror holiday bullshit movie. And this one was actually kind of a good time.
A wonderful night it wasn't. So that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank God, right?